Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, and welcome to the Learning Lounge on Lake Sumter TV. We've left the climate-controlled comfort of the Learning Lounge to hit the road with Greg Parady. You know, our past episodes have been focused on saving strategies. Well, this time around, we're hooking up with some fourth graders and see if we can teach them some giving strategies. And it all starts with Greg's personal philosophy. We'll call it the power of gifting.
Well, my philosophy is kind of cliche. The more you give, the more you receive. And, I have been very fortunate in this community to be very successful. It's one of the most giving communities that you're ever going to find, I think. And we just adopted the philosophy to invest our time and energy, and in some cases money, in the things that are important to our clients. Because if it's important to our clients, it's important to us. And that's really how all of this started. Parady Cares Foundation is a nonprofit that we started the process of founding 2 years ago, became a reality this year. It is dedicated to helping the local charities that are important to our clients, but very heavy emphasis on our local schools. We do as much as we can through the foundation to bring awareness to some of the basic needs that are not being met for our students, our future, our children. And that foundation was created to help not only bring awareness to it, but raise money for it, raise support, and it's really picking up a lot of steam very quickly, and we're excited about expanding it. And so as I got to know the schools and we started to be more active with the schools, it shined a spotlight on what's happening in the communities around us.
I'm a new principal here at this school, and when I stepped foot on campus on my first contract day on July 1st, I was immediately told by other staff members how involved Parady is in the school and that they would like to continue that relationship.
Parady's done a lot. They joined us approximately 2 years ago. It started with supporting our summer program, providing snacks and things that were needed. With those students going into other snack programs, providing computers, providing school supplies.
We were given a gift of 75 laptops that we used in our 5th grade classrooms for testing, because a big part of the curriculum now and the end result is high stakes testing, and all of our 5th graders were going to take a test on the computer. So with the gift that he provided, every 5th grader in our school had opportunity to practice on the computers, and every 5th grader at one time could take the test on the computer. And we believe it was a difference maker.
The support that they have actually given to the school has been so immense and so much appreciated.
If the name Parady sounds familiar to you, you may recall back in 2013 when Greg and his wife made national headlines. Through a series of odd and spontaneous events, Greg wound up paying down $20,000 in local Walmart layaway accounts, dubbing him a layaway angel at Walmart. And that was the start of something much bigger.
After the layaway story broke, it just seemed like if I would do that again, it would feel like I was doing it for attention, which was never the goal, right? And so, but it did impact so many people on a national and an international level that I spent a lot of time and energy trying to think of how I could pass on some of the benefits and some of the lessons that I received and learned from that. And so we thought, well, how do you explain what it feels like to give and be recognized to give when you do something for no reason and that person looks at you and they just start crying, because maybe they couldn't afford to buy dinner that night, and because of your gesture they'll be able to. It was from that space, it was from that place that we decided we wanted to pass those lessons on. At the same time, my son was just very young. So I also wanted to make sure that my son, and my wife is pregnant now, so all of our children realize how important it is to give back to others, and that not everybody's going to be financially secure at a young age, or at any age for that matter. And so we wanted to teach lessons to our family. And I thought, well, what better place to go than to tell the story of giving through the eyes and ears of a 4th grader. The Santa book, What Would Santa Do, is really, what would you do if you could be Santa for a day, or a week, or a month? And that's This idea was born out of many stories leading up to it. That gave me an opportunity to meet some elementary schools in the area and introduced to the elementary schools and the faculty that work with them. And that's when I learned about really the financial condition of a lot of the schools outside of the villages. And quite frankly, it's not a very bright financial picture.
We're at over 85% free and reduced lunch. As far as our students, there's a lot of need, a lot of one-parent families, many who are with grandparents and other family members to help raise them and support them as they go through, a lot missing dad or some missing mom.
So here's what they're charged with. The responsibility is they get a $25 gift card to spend however they want. Okay? Now remember, they have no money. Okay? So we're giving them money. And we worked with the teachers so that they could work with the students' parents and families. And the goal was spend this $25 on somebody else. You can spend it however you want. It can be a stranger, it can be a family member, it can be whoever you want.
When I first heard about it, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna give this and we want them to pay it forward, but then a lot of them are in need and so they could use it themselves. But the fact of making a difference in somebody else's life and how it eventually could come back and somebody could pay it forward to you, and how, we want to be selfless and we want to be giving, and it's nice to receive, but it's also a nice thing to give, and how that could eventually turn around and come back towards you one day.
Is it really fair to ask fourth graders, many of whom have their own financial needs, to give away what could be of value to them? Well, when we come back, we'll take you to the 3 schools as Greg lays out the challenge and the expectations. You're watching a special episode of The Learning Lounge, The Power of Gifting, right here on LSTV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Learning Lounge on Lake Sumter TV. Parady's book, What Would Santa Do?, provided the catalyst for these fourth graders who are now empowered with the knowledge of paying it forward and the snowball effect. But would they rise to the occasion? Our lesson continues.
What Would Santa Do? It is a story about how Mr. Parady discussed paying it forward and the aspect of paying it forward, and the importance of the snowball effect it has when one person does something nice for another one. It starts to take effect and others start to do other nice things for other people.
Working at this age, the kids need to learn about character, helping out the community. We are fortunate that we do have community come into our school. We have tutors for kids who work with our kids to increase their abilities. They read with them, they work in their math, they work in their sciences.
We have character education here at Stanton-Weirsdale Elementary School. We have words each month, vocabulary words that we teach the kids, such as loyalty, trustworthiness. We mention those daily on our morning show, and students practice that, and they are also praised as well whenever they use those particular characteristics.
At our school, we run a news program 3 mornings a week, and a big part of that news program is called Counselor's Corner. And every month through the Counselor's Corner, for years now, we have a word of the month that deals with a value. And this month our word is compassion. And what does that mean? And so through our news program and newscast, we delivered the news through What Would Santa Do? And then announced to 4th graders they would be getting an opportunity to pay it forward.
So then with the class, I was able to talk kind of about what pay it forward means and how it's one person doing something, and then hopefully that person will turn around and do something for someone else.
Then we asked them to write an essay, just a short, brief description, who they spent it on, why, and how it made them feel.
I gave them an example of a time that I went through a drive-through at McDonald's, and we pulled up to the window and the lady handed me a card and said, the person in front of you paid for your meal, and said, Merry Christmas. And I was like, wow, that was really nice, I didn't have to do that. And so we immediately said, well, we were gonna pay for our food anyways, so let's pay for the people behind us. And so we went ahead right there and paid it forward and did something nice for the people behind us, so when they came up. And so they were like, oh, we didn't ever think of that.
To me, it means if you find somebody who needs it, a person or animal or thing who needs it, more than you do, you pay it forward, so you're buying something that they need.
It's important to give to others because people would enjoy it, and some people can't get stuff because they're poor and they don't have any money. Some don't even have homes.
When you get something and it's special to you and you just feel like you don't need it, you just give it to somebody who really does need it.
Is when you give to others, maybe someday they'll give to somebody else. It keeps on growing and growing and growing and growing.
I was astounded by their ideas and the ideas that they generated as students to help others. It was remarkable.
When we come back, the students learn and teach a valuable lesson as we find out what some of them did with their $25 prepaid card. And Greg shares his grander vision for the future. You're watching a special episode of The Learning Lounge, The Power of Gifting. Stay tuned, there's more ahead. Welcome back. The challenge has been laid and hundreds of prepaid cards have already been distributed to the students based on the premise, what would Santa do? Or in this case, fourth graders from Stanton-Weirsdale Elementary, Wildwood Elementary, and the Villages Elementary of Lady Lake. Here's Greg with a quick recap.
That was the project. Here's $25. Spend it on however you see fit. Tell us why, tell us who, and tell us how it made you feel. And we have all of those essays. And for 3 elementary schools. So I think there were over 400 students. Really, a lot of them from last year are a big part of the What Would Santa Do book. I mean, you can find them in the book. The very first card I read yesterday was a little boy who received a $25 gift card. He decided to break his piggy bank, which he had $220 in, which is a pretty good amount in your piggy bank when you're 9. So he put the money together. It was almost $250, and he gave it to the local police department here in Lady Lake because he thought that the police department would know the most kids that would need the most help. So here's a 9-year-old who you gave money to, who is already a good saver, and his thing was, how do I give more? And that's that snowball effect. That's that power gifting is what I call it. It's the power of giving somebody the gift of giving to just change the way that they relate and think about others.
It was heartwarming. I think we all know it does feel good. It feels better to give than to receive. And to see the kids feeling that way as well, it's really amazing it was amazing to see their reaction to that.
I didn't have a thought at first, and then I thought of Mr. Hatch, because he's in the motorcyclonics and everything. He's the school custodian. Hard worker. Never complains.
He was in a tragic motorcycle accident and he went into ICU, intensive care unit. About 2 weeks later, he went back home and I'm going to give him Christmas in a box. Bake some cookies for him, get little stuff like magazines and snacks for him, and donate the rest of the money to him for his family and him.
Grateful because I'm helping him.
I went to Walmart and I got some toys for the Toys for Tots, and I put it in the box at Walmart. I bought those little Hot Wheel cars for the boys and some My Little Pony for the girls.
We went to the store and we found someone named Vincent. He was in the U.S. Air Force. He was homeless and very poor, and we gave him the card so he could go to the store and buy something.
Some were surprised. They were like, that was neat. I didn't think that would be as fun as it was, and to decide what they were going to do. Some went shopping for older people, some helped the less fortunate, and it was just to hear their conversations and some of the excitement. It was awesome.
And she said we could buy something for a homeless person or someone in the nursing home. So I picked someone in a nursing home that take care of themselves. So me and my mama went to the store. So we bought body wash, perfume, and something to base with and polish for them. When I went to the store to go get food for the animal shelter, somebody had asked me why was I buying the stuff and giving it away, and I had told them I had a project, and they wanted to find out how they could do it too.
This year the teachers got the gift card as well, so I was able to talk to them about what I was going to do with it, and then just to hear their stories. And then for the ones that have younger brothers and sisters, being able to say, you know, you're gonna show your younger siblings or other students at the school how they can give as well.
My sister wanted a dog, and it just came to my mind, why don't I go to the Humane Society? And I gave them my $25 gift card. I think they buy like blankets and stuff.
It was kind of hard at first, but then I went through and I brainstormed a little about it at night, a few nights. And then we went to Target and we bought some clothes, like beanie hats and gloves and blankets and clothes for people who don't have them at our food pantry, and it's called Beyond the Walls Food Pantry at our church. Oh wow, I get to do something great in the world and change people's lives.
It's not about money, and that was the idea behind $25, right? I mean, $25 is not a lot of money to most people, but to some, just a small gesture with $25 can make a huge difference. It is not about money, and sometimes that gets lost in all of this. That was the reason we picked a fairly small denomination. That was the reason why we picked fourth graders. You'd just be stunned at the things that they come up with and the ideas that they have. But this whole thing was built around or started when my wife and I decided that we have to start early teaching our family how important it is to give back, because you don't get anything in life unless you give it away. And so it's just our philosophy on how we live our lives. That's what's important to us. It's the cornerstone of our value system.
Well, I definitely would say thank you to Mr. Parady, just for not only inspiring the teachers, but more importantly for inspiring the children. And so hopefully they can learn at an early age how good it is to give and how it makes you feel so wonderful inside to be able to give things away.
I would say thank you, because he's a great guy. I would tell him thank you, and I would tell him that if I had another chance to do it, that I would not need any more than what he had gave me last time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being a part of our school. We're not an A school because we're an A school. We're an A school because people like Greg Parady, his employees, clients, they've all given unselfishly. And so I think that's what makes us an A school.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to give to others.
Sometimes overused, but the appreciation and to see the kids and their enjoyment, it's immense. It's beyond appreciation. It is gratitude.
I'd say thank you so much, because it felt really good for me, and I'm sure it's going to feel really good for him getting all those notes later.
Thank you for letting me help someone else, Mr. Parady.
I'd say thank you, and I'd like to do it again. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you for helping us to pay it forward, and hopefully some of the people who we pay it forward to will turn around and pay it forward to somebody else. And I think that was probably one of Mr. Parady's goals, so we're happy to help assist him with that.
For us, we have very lofty goals. We want to continue the power gifting strategies and the power gifting mindset year-round, because I believe the more that you do it, the more that it becomes embedded in your DNA, and nothing bad comes from giving.
There we go.
There you go. You get a high five like you mean it.
Well said, all of you. And as Greg suggests, the power of gifting can and should be a year-round way of life. Perhaps you'd like to start your family's conversation the way the students did, with a copy of What Would Santa Do? You can purchase a copy at the Parady Financial Group offices in the villages. Each book is $20, including tax, and 100% of all book sales go back to the Parady Cares Foundation, which is then recycled into the next community education project. Our thanks to the students and staffs at the participating schools, as well as to Greg Parady for sharing his passion for the gift of giving. Thanks to you for watching this special episode of The Learning Lounge. I'm Mark Roberts. We'll see you next time.